Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. My name is Arms Boomenlag for another edition of Royal LePage Binder Live. This is Ask the Experts. And really excited to welcome our guest on the show today because we've got a lot of questions about what's happening in the mortgage world and give you a bit of a debrief, so to speak, on her experience. She's been a mortgage agent since 1999, national award winner in terms of a mortgage broker year after year due to volume, expertise in her field, and some really great community work happening right here in the Windsor, Essex area. She's led a team of successful agents and a fulfillment team, and she's growing in the community of Windsor and really Canada wide. Interesting fact, though, she started her career when she first purchased her first home, and then she was turned down at 23 years old because she was self-employed. So it's a really interesting story behind that. I'm excited to welcome to the show Rasha Ingratta, who is joining us on the program. Hi, Rasha. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you too, Arms. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining me today. Yeah, so
Good.
I mean, what a wild way to get started in the whole industry, right? So you were 23 when that happened, and I guess that kind of added fuel to your fire to do what you do.
Yeah, so I remember at 22 or 23, that's when I got married. And me and my husband at the time wanted to buy a home. And we went from a few banks here and there, and they all turned us down because I was self-employed. And he had income, but at the time he was laid off. So yeah.
So it was just kind of got you sort of motivated, right, to kind of getting into this whole realm because then you go to a mortgage broker that was referred to your friend, from what I understand, and then you fell in love with the whole
Yes.
process.
So I didn't even know mortgage brokers existed at the time. And believe it or not, I get it. I get a lot of times clients will tell me I didn't even know mortgage brokers could do this. So even up until today, people don't know what mortgage brokers do. And my friend referred me to a mortgage broker, and I talked to him, and he pretty much laid it out for me up front and said, "This is what we're going to do." And I got the approval. I felt like Pretty Woman, when she goes back into the store and saying, "Hey, I got my house." So
Yeah.
I wanted to go back into the bank and say I bought a home.
Hey, that's all right. You could be like, yeah, you guys denied me, and here I am. I'm
Yeah.
ready to go. I'm good to go.
Mhm.
So, okay, so 1999, this all goes down. If you compare 1999 Russia to now in 2021, how much has the whole process changed? I mean, it's a bit of a long time, right? Just to say.
Yeah.
I mean, not to age anybody, but I'm just saying, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. When I think about it, I feel like, oh my God, I can't believe that I've gone through, 20 plus years of mortgage brokering. But when I think back in the day, you know, back in the day when Wi-Fi didn't exist, internet didn't exist, when a client would call and we would handwrite applications. So I would be on the phone and I'm handwriting an application. There were times I would have to fax the application to the lender for approval. Early in 2000, we would input the information into a software system, and then we had those dial-up phones where it screeches. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh
I don't know
yeah. Oh
how
yeah.
old are you, Arms?
I'm gonna be 40 this year, believe it or
Oh,
not.
okay.
Big
So do you
40.
remember those days?
Yeah, I remember the old dial up where you would like hit dial up and then you would go make a coffee, go make dinner, and then you'd still be
Uh-huh.
logging in like half an hour later. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So with the way technology has evolved, it's allowed us to do things much quicker. I remember, like right now, when if you call me and you say I want to refinance my home, I can quickly Google your house and see what it looks like and kind of give me an idea of what your home value would be. Back in the day, I would get in my car and I would go and drive by the house to go see it. I remember when Google first came out and you can Google homes, I remember a client on the phone with me. I said, "You know what? Wait a minute. Let me Google your house." He had no idea what I was talking about. And he said, "Oh, you can see me right now?" And I said to him, "I can actually see you cutting your lawn in front of your house." And it kind of scared him. But yeah, so when the Google picture was taken when he was cutting his lawn. So
Sure.
it's really amazing on how much we've evolved and how technology has made it so much simpler than it was 20 years ago.
Speaking of driving, I was in the city a couple of days ago and I drove down Dougal, saw your fantastic location on Dougal, saw the bench ads. So let's talk a little bit about that because you've got a great location and it's not just you, right? It's really a team that you've assembled.
Yes. So I have a team of mortgage agents, a team of fulfillment, like fulfillment managers,
Mhm.
and I've got it's 5 mortgage agents. We have 2 fulfillment managers on the team, and we have 1 administrator, and I have a finance account manager, and I have a marketing technologist. So yeah.
It's a full house, right?
Yes, full house. I know we're busting out the seams here.
And that's great because I think with your experience and your sort of level of quality that you've offered folks since 1999, that you've kind of spread that through other people who do different things, and you're able to let them kind of do what they do and do it well. So you can kind of have that quality control, and everybody's on the same page, I would assume.
Yes, I'm very fortunate about my team. Ultimately, this job or this career can't be done alone. I did do it for a long time on my own. When I started to add on more people, it's just become amazing. You know that term where they say build them and they will come.
Yes, I
Um,
do.
yeah, so I was worried about adding people onto my team, but the more I was adding, the better we were becoming, and the better in terms of quality and quickness and efficiency and all of that.
So let me ask you this, Rasha. Was there a pivotal moment for you in this career? And I mean, I can tell that you love doing it. Do you even call it a career?
Yes. So, for a long time, I looked at my job as a job. I wake up in the morning and I would come in and take phone calls and applications and get deals approved and all of that. There was a few moments in time where I literally said to myself, I am not just doing mortgages. I'm actually, impacting people's lives and making a difference with what we do. And the one, I've got a few stories, but the one that I always remember is a gentleman that I'm working with right now in his 30s came to me in his 20s. Right now, he's buying his 4th home. But when he came to me in his 20s to buy his first home, I asked him, I said, so this was about 10 years ago. I said, how did you come to call me? And he said, I was 12 years old and I was in your office with my parents. So this was like in the beginning, like when I first started my career.
Sure.
He said, as my parents were walking out the door, you gave me your business card and you said, like at 12 years old, when you're ready to buy a house, call me. And so he kept that card with him. And he called
All
me
the
in
time.
his 20s and he said, you've helped my parents pay off their mortgage and invest in real estate. And they were newcomers to Canada. So I want you to show me how I can do that for myself now. So now, 10 years later, he has 3 homes that I've helped him acquire. And right now, he's selling one of his homes, keeping 2 that he's still renting, and he's buying his 4th home. He's
Wow.
putting almost $400,000 down on his, $900,000 property, and he's in his 30s, and he's got over $1 million in net worth. And he said, I don't know if I would be here today if it weren't for you. So yeah, I've had moments like that in my life where I've said, you know what, like, I affect people's real estate and finances. I'm not just a mortgage broker.
So, with that being said, Rasha, is there a specific product that you love working with, say, for like in that case, a young investor, family, or even a first-time home buyer?
Yeah. So, you know, that's a hard question to answer because every client has a story to tell, and they're all different. Whether they're purchasing a home, whether they are refinancing or coming up for renewal, are they just renewing? Are they looking out to take equity to invest in real estate or renovate or pay off debt? Or every situation has a a different plan and story to it. And I really don't have like one to choose. But if I were to, it's almost like having 5 kids and you would say, who do you love the most? And I can't tell you who I love the most. I do love
Sure.
my dog out of all people in this world. So, um,
That's
but
awesome.
um, yeah,
It's
so
so you would say it's like case by case basis, right? I mean, that's why it's
yeah,
crucial to work with a mortgage uh, professional like yourself to kind of go through everything that may be going on in that person's or family's particular situation. Like I even use the example to Russia, like somebody who's looking to maybe refinance to get rid of some of that high interest debt too, right? I mean, there's probably certain products that you would recommend, but that would depend on their particular situation.
definitely. So we deal with people that have bruised credit and they've been turned down by the banks. We have people that have excellent credit but have, debts where, they're making so much money. Let's say they make $110,000 a year, but they have a mortgage where their payment is $1,500 a month, but then they have all this unsecured debt at $1,000 a month. If you take the debt and the mortgage and put it into one umbrella and make your payment $2,500 a month, so you're putting it all on the mortgage, that would speed up the process in paying off your debt. But a lot of people are not financially savvy and knowing how to do that. And sometimes I was speaking to a lady the other day and she said, sometimes people don't want to, they're worried about talking to somebody because they don't understand it and they don't even know where to start. And when they do find somebody that can help them throughout the process and get them to that, it's unbelievable that that you can find somebody that can help you to do that.
I wanted to ask you too, Rasha. I mean, obviously, you're very passionate about helping folks, working with them down the road through every step of their lives in terms of maybe their first home, retirement home, downsizing. So, what inspires you to do better in life or even in business?
um so what really inspires me in life really has nothing to do with like money or business or anything like that. It has to do with people. And one thing that I just recently did that a friend of mine told me to do is to write your own obituary. And I wrote my own obituary and I went online because whenever I do anything, I always Google and I look at like, what's the best way to do this or,
Sure.
or so I went online and read other people's obituaries and I'm like, wow, you know, in my obituary, all I talked about is that I hope that I made a difference in people's lives and that I hope that I made a difference in my son's life, in my husband's life, that I was a good mother, a good daughter, a good, mortgage broker, a good, sister, a friend. I wanted to be that good person to inspire others.
Mhm.
And what inspires me is the people around me, of course. And I love listening to motivational speakers and inspirational speakers. I love surrounding myself by quotes from Nelson Mandela, Maya Angelou,
Sure.
Helen Keller. Like I love reading quotes. One of my favorite quotes is what's obvious to you is amazing to others.
That's
That's
right.
one of my favorite quotes. What's obvious to you is amazing to others. And if you think about it, right? When people come to us for a mortgage, we do this every day. And in 2 minutes, when you can tell a client what you qualify for and what you qualify or what you don't qualify or what you need to qualify for this mortgage, it's amazing to them how we can make that work for them. But to us, we do this every day,
Every day.
right? So
Yeah.
a doctor's office, you feel tired and you don't know why by 4 o'clock every day you want to go to sleep. You
Mhm.
go to a doctor's office and he checks your blood work and you're low on vitamin D. Now you take vitamin D pills and you're all of a sudden fine. Amazing, right? How would you have known that yourself? But the doctor helped you, figure that out. So what's obvious to us is amazing to others. I love that quote.
I love the late Maya Angelou. Side note, when I was working on radio many, many years ago, I was one of my best interviews I ever did. I had a chance to actually interview her one on one. And
Oh,
what an
wow.
amazing woman. She was just absolutely incredible. There's another individual that I had a chance to interview before he passed was, and I'm sure maybe you're familiar with him, is Dr. Wayne Dyer. Um,
Oh,
Love him. Just an amazing man. Next time I
wow.
stop by in town, I've got a couple of books. Maybe I'll drop one off
Thank you.
at your location for you. I think he's just phenomenal. Does a lot of Zen work and talks about some core fundamentals of Buddhism, and it just really really some really positive stuff. So I think that's amazing. And just before we wrap it up here too, Rasha, I wanted to ask you. You work with Frank Binder and the team at Royal LePage Binder. Right across Windsor Essex with all our different brokerages. What's that experience like for you working with our team?
Wow. I met Frank Binder years ago. I stopped by his office around Christmas, and I was dropping off a few gifts to the realtors that, refer business to me. And I remember seeing Frank. I always see his pictures, but I didn't know what he was in person. And he peeked out of his door and he went like this to me. I thought I was in trouble, that I was crashing his Christmas party or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to crash your Christmas party. Just
Sure.
dropping off gifts to realtors. And then that was the start of our relationship. I sat with him and we talked, and um, that man has a beautiful heart. And no wonder why, like, if you look at all his realtors, they all mimic what he does. And they're awesome. They have a great heart. They have great teams. It's because he's the leader, and you've got these team leaders that are doing awesome for their teams. Have you paid attention to that? Like, do you see
Yeah.
how, right? So it's just amazing being like working with him and working with his realtors.
Well, I just think we're lucky to have you as a preferred supplier, and I want to spend some time and to say thank you for doing what you do. And it was just a pleasure to talk to you here on the show today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Arms.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. That is Rasha Ingratta from one of our preferred suppliers. Got a great location on Dougal. As soon as you come into the city of Windsor, pass by it on a frequent basis, and you've probably seen her bench ads around town too. So very community involved, community minded, and obviously a lover of some good literature as well. Really excited to hear that she's into Dr. Maya Angelou as well. True story. I did actually interview her. I have got it somewhere on an MP3. I should probably dig it up and maybe put it up on social media. Appreciate her time. Awesome lady to work with. Rasha Ingratta joining us here on Ask the Experts. So that's going to do it for this edition of the show. We're back again with another edition of Royal LePage Binder Live. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to go to our website for all the complete details of all of our preferred suppliers in the Windsor and Essex County area, royallepagebinder.com. And we'll see you next time here on Ask the Experts.